Hello, everybody. Welcome to our new module on rhetorical theory, where we're going to be doing a couple of selected readings from a rhetorician by the name of Kenneth Burke. In our previous module, we were working on composing a compassionate argument, where a big part of our project was to shift our way of thinking about argument away from being this kind of combative sort of thing where we even use the language of war to describe what we do in that kind of argument. We attack a position or we defend a position, we destroy that argument, or whatever it might be, right? We use the language of war to talk about the kinds of things that we do in arguments like that. But in composing a compassionate argument, we took a more Rogerian style approach to that argument, where we were more interested in trying to convey our sense of mutual understanding of our various positions, and then working to find some kind of a common ground, working to find a sense of mutually agreeable solutions to agreed upon problems, right? So it's all about working together and coming together in mutual understanding and finding a common solution to agreed upon problems. It really boils down to trying to do the work of peace, trying to do the work of reconciliation. And it was really, I think, in my own reading of a lot of Kenneth Burke's material that kind of led me to that path. It led me away from the language of war in argumentation and more toward the language of peace, right? So in our rhetorical theory module, we're really going to dig into, some of the source of this business of like how we can use words to help move us toward peace rather than using words or misusing words that keep us divided, right? So that's kind of the overall broad picture here of what we're looking at in the rhetorical theory chapter. The pattern that I have set up for us, I think, is pretty manageable. It's going to boil down to doing a reading and then doing a group discussion based on that reading. So what I recommend doing is taking a look at the prompt in the group discussion first. So that way, when you do the reading, you have some sense of what to look out for, how to annotate, right? How to look for or find the things that you might be interested in adding to your group discussion. So, for example, I'll look at the reading prompt first. So there's this selection here. It's one of Kenneth Burke's most famous pieces. It's called "The Definition of Man." It's not a short reading, as you can see. So maybe what you might do is just read the first couple of paragraphs to get a sense of what this reading is going to be like. Maybe get a sense of what it's going to be about, but don't sit there and read the whole thing in one session, right? You're going to get overwhelmed. Trust me, right? Just get an overall sense of what this thing might be about. And then hop back over to the discussion prompt and see what the discussion is asking you to do. So in fact, I'm going to go over that right now. So throughout this essay, The Definition of Man, Burke argues that not only are humans symbol using animals, but also symbol misusing animals. So your job in this discussion group is to summarize, respond, and make connections to Burke's points on these ideas. So first, what do you think Burke means by saying that we are symbol using and symbol misusing animals? You should write several sentences on this using some examples from Burke's essay. Second, we presently find ourselves many, many years after Burke originally published this essay in 1966. So given that, Share some modern examples of how you think humans are still symbol using and or symbol misusing animals. And third, respond to everyone in your group by extending their ideas with your own experiences and reflections. And try to add at least one relevant quote from Burke's definition of man to contextualize your response. Responses limited to statements like I agree or I like what you said without adding something substantial will not count. So expectation wise, just keep in mind that we're doing this reading and the group discussion instead of doing another essay for the course. So keep that in mind, right? You should be spending a fair amount of time on the reading and on working your way through the group discussion, right? We're not going to do an essay on this, right? So your group discussion work should represent the amount of time that you would spend in putting an essay together, that kind of thing. Okay, so there is the discussion prompt for the group discussion that should help you have some kind of a sense of what to watch out for and what to focus in on as you're reading your way through Burke's definition of man. I will say too, just to be fully transparent and fully honest, if you are pressed for time and you find the reading to be fairly overwhelming, you'll notice that the reading is divided into sections. So there's Roman numeral 1, Roman numeral 2, and so on. It goes all the way, I think, to Roman numeral 7. You might just like if there's nothing else you can get read through on this, take a look at the first 2 Roman numeral sections. You'll see after you read the first 1 or 2 sections that Burke is essentially using 5 different sections to try to define man. Man is the symbol using animal, as you see here, is the first clause of 5 clauses of his definition. But if you can do nothing else, read through the first section, right? This, a couple, 4 paragraphs or so, and then read through the second section. And that's going to be a pretty good chunk, and it should be challenging enough, right? But if you remain interested and curious and you're finding the intellectual stimulation that is happening in the reading to be a good thing for you, then absolutely read through as much of it as you want to. But in terms of, the kind of, expectations that I have, get through the first 2 sections. Okay. I think that that's going to be a good enough setup for now. So enjoy the reading, and I look forward to reading through everything that you come up with in your group discussion on Kenneth Burke's definition of man.